Welcome everyone and thank you for joining. The topic in today's webinar is Reimagining Airport Revenue. My name is Elaine McSweeney. I'm the BA here with the product team at Unlock, and I'm joined by my other team members, John and Diliana, and I'll just hand you over to those and they will give you a brief introduction to themselves.
No problem. So my name is John Power. If you've been on any of these webinars before, my face is familiar. I'm running the product team here within Mock and responsible for driving the roadmap out to existing customers and to new customers. Over to you, Diliana.
Diliana Miteva, I'm solutions consultant. I work with airport customers across Europe. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Great, thanks guys. So I'd just like to give anyone we are a trusted partner of airlines and airports. We empower clients to innovate, drive and grow through AI-driven cloud-based solutions. We deliver real-time value and we future-proof operations. We have a team of about 300 and we have about 10 years experience, and over that we've delivered over 1,000 migration and optimization projects. So that's a little bit about Amok, and I just hand you over to Diliana where she'll discuss what we're discussing today. Thanks, Diliana.
Thanks, Elaine. So the key topics that we will cover today you see on the screen. First, the airport revenue ecosystem will break down diverse sources of non-aviation revenue. Then strategies to improve passenger experience and increase revenue. We'll show how the airport website can be transformed from a simple flight board into a dynamic revenue-generating marketplace. Next, we'll cover common challenges like data silos, fragmented systems. We'll also demonstrate how orchestrating systems, processes, and people creates a unified smart airport. We'll highlight successful revenue-generating use cases, give practical examples, and we'll end with a discussion about the key technologies that can build foundation for future growth, the technological enablers.
Okay, so we're looking at airport revenue sources, improving passenger experience, addressing the challenges of trying to deliver those, improvements to the airport process, and highlighting real-world innovations that can be used to gain this increased revenue. Great.
Yeah, that sums up the agenda well. So we know that the potential for non-aviation revenue is vast, but it very much depends on seamlessly connecting every service and touch point. You can think of the airport as a marketplace. Think of it as a complex data-driven ecosystem.
So the airport is increasingly being seen not as a service provider for airlines on its own, but also a commercial entity in its own right, a revenue generator as opposed to a facilitator just for the airlines and on-time flights.
Yeah, that is right. You see stats from Heathrow's retail revenue. We have £772 million for the last year, and big part of it is coming from car parking. We traditionally see car parking as the major source of revenue, but retail concession is another good income stream. And when looking at revenue potential, we have to consider the customer journey. Customer journey starts long before actually they arrive at the terminal. And we also have to consider the digital touch points. The airport website is the first and most critical touch point. While it has always provided basic content like real-time flight information, parking details, terminal maps, the next generation of digital platforms is expanding these capabilities. And modern websites and apps now include extended features that go far beyond basic flight information. Think of providing real-time security wait times, parking availability. These additional features, they can transform potentially stressful moments and turn them into simple, predictable steps. Other popular new features are food pre-ordering that saves passengers time, Also integrating passenger surveys. This can help airports gather feedback. By offering these enhanced services, airports both improve customer experience, collect valuable data that directly enables revenue growth.
Okay, so by looking at the passenger journey, we can identify touch points and from that allow the passenger to better plan their journey. But for us, it's we can gather data from those points and identify opportunities from that data. And obviously, then with that data, we can share with other organizations to probably drive further innovation.
Yes, and we see multiple digital touch points. Today we'll focus very much on the main one, the airport website, but
Okay.
there are others like mobile apps, and the terminal Wi-Fi could be used as a source of data. Yeah, so moving on, again, parking traditionally has been the largest source of non-aviation revenue. While still vital, airports are using technology to optimize it. By implementing, for example, parking management software or e-commerce platforms, airports can collect critical passenger and transaction data. And this data is the key to targeted marketing, to upselling, to boosting the size of transactions.
The real goal is increase revenue by collecting and then transforming the data into opportunities.
Yes, and I'll give an example. Imagine a passenger pre-books a parking spot online, and that action provides data that enables the airport to send them personalized offers. So the airport knows passengers' approximate arrival times, they know their flight, they know their gates. By seeing their method of payment, like company Amex card, for example, we can decide this is a business traveler, and business traveler may receive discount on lounge access or voucher for coffee shop near their gate, for example. But if the passengers are a family on holiday, they can get discount for a toy shop, for example. And by offering these ancillary services and implementing loyalty programs, airports can not only increase revenue, but also build customer loyalty.
Okay, so really driving that personalized upselling. I could see how if a traveler fills in on the website, maybe a quick survey about food preferences, notifications can be prompted out before they arrive at the airport or at the airport, or maybe even giving them options to pre-order and again encouraging the sort of upsell and personalized upselling.
Yes, and the approach we see working is enhancing experience to increase revenue.
Okay.
So that is all great, but airports have very complex time-bound operations. And let's talk a little bit about roadblocks and challenges that actually prevent the airports from becoming smart. Despite the clear benefits, airports face significant challenges in this digital transformation, and these are not technical problems as much as they can be organizational ones. The most common challenges include fragmented digital systems. Most airports currently operate in silos, where each department focuses on their own operations and each department has their own data. Different departments, think of security, retail, operations, they often operate on separate legacy systems, and this creates operational silos, and this fragmentation prevents the holistic view of the airport operations and limits the growth, limits the potential for
Okay,
revenue.
so there's a real limit on data collection at present, and that data that is there is not fully valued in terms of how we can transform that into opportunities. Okay.
Yes, and you touch here on another common challenge, barriers to data sharing. There can be a fear of sharing data across departments or with external partners, and this again limits the potential for collaboration, for innovation. This could be due to internal politics, the legacy way of doing things. Another common challenge is lack of awareness and skills. Stakeholders may not fully grasp the value of digitalization, and they may lack the resources to actually implement new technology, to develop new strategy, and to move forward.
So it's kind of like a new way of looking at things, and the know-how to deliver that may not be in-house within the airports. They may need to go outside to bring in expertise, such as a mock.
Yes, exactly right. And in many cases, we see that actually the additional services like e-commerce system, retail systems, they usually provided by third parties, and integrating with them requires new skills, new knowledge.
Okay. So we can see that we need to break down these operational silos and fragmented systems. But how can management help to move beyond these issues? Are there key steps that we should follow?
Yes, let's talk about how airports can actually break down those silos and create this unified airport experience.
Okay.
So, to transform an airport into a smart one, you must implement a strategy that is focused on data sharing, on collaboration, and you have to plan for key actions or practical steps if you want. One practical step is creation of a data catalog. What we talk about here is providing knowledge about the data. Instead of just sharing raw data, airports should implement a data catalog. This is a tool that can help every stakeholder discover and understand that data is available and what type of data is available, how to use it. And this ensures everyone is working with the same information. So think of the security department having knowledge of the other departments, and that would help them do their operations better.
Okay, it's sort of giving a manual for those looking to capitalize on the data that's available to them to work to generate new opportunities and understand the data that they're seeing in front of them.
Yes, exactly. Knowledge about the data being discoverable. Another good action to have in your strategy to move into smarter airport is having a centralized platform, plan for moving to a centralized platform rather than building complex individual connections between departments. A centralized data platform can provide a single source of truth. This approach unifies data and gives all authorized parties access to the same information.
That's quite a big change. Can you expand on that? What's the real change here for airlines if they move to this centralized platform?
I'll give you an example. We've been working with an airport customer that initially were very much focused on modernizing their website, knowing that better website would give them better opportunity for increasing the revenue. However, when working through the requirements, it turned out that actually it is a more complex undertaking.
Okay.
Is not only about providing a good website with nice images and good design, it is about integrating very different systems in order to provide this unified view of the airport operation. So, for example, in order to give the customer good experience, we need to give them, of course, real life flight information, but also in order to give them the good parking self-booking experience, we need to integrate with modern parking system. And I'll mention the name Cavo is such a system and give a lot of opportunities to personalize experience, to do upselling, to offer discounts, to just give a better journey for the customer from the moment they start their interaction with the website, booking parking space, actually their departure.
All right. So to achieve this unified smart airport is essential to break down the silos, then manage the systems, the process, and the people to get everyone on the same track and create a consistent view of all the data and enabling better collaboration and efficiency. So it's down to the basics of people, process, and data.
Yes, when planning for this centralized platform, we have to take into account what are the process flows we need to handle. We need to take into account things like security, like governance, like compliance, like accessibility. And I mentioned two integrations, but we usually need much more. If we move to another good practical step to have in the strategy, that would be the need of cultural change.
Okay.
Overcoming the what's in it for me mindset. A cultural shift is necessary. Departments must move past individual interests, embrace a collaborative mindset. When everyone understands the shared benefits of working together, a more efficient and more effective system can be achieved.
So that's really managing the people through change part of the challenge. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly right. So we've talked about creating a smart airport. We've talked about a strategy, how to go about it. And it is a big undertaking, both from cultural and technological perspective. But the benefits could be significant if airports get it right. Let's talk about some concrete examples how this integration, digital transformation can actually lead to smarter decision and new revenue. Smart parking system, using real-time data to implement dynamic pricing models that maximize revenue during peak times and offer discounts during slower periods. Centralized platform can analyze real-time parking occupancy, flight schedules, pre-booking data, can implement dynamic pricing. So prices can be raised during peak times, holidays or weekends, and lower during off-peak times. And this will help to maximize occupancy and revenue.
I understand that, but incorporating dynamic pricing, which is becoming quite common across a lot of other industries like entertainment and sports, has a negative side. And but you not run the risk of annoying your customers with this, dynamic pricing when really what you want to drive is loyalty and repeat business. How would you overcome that?
We should always be mindful about the customer experience, customer journey, being transparent, being fair, maybe bundling in offers, discounts, making sure we have their opt-in consents for additional personalized marketing. So it drills down to think like the customer and provide them with good experience, transparency, explain why you're doing that, and
Okay.
stay away from using personal data to adjust pricing.
Okay, so transparency is the key where you maybe when they're booking the flight, you're, warning them that, you know, a simple nudge that this is the best time and the cheapest time for you to book here, or warning that, looks like your flight is going off in August, bank holiday, our busiest time. Would you not consider booking it? So I could see, yeah, perhaps if we use notifications and stuff. Yeah,
And let's not forget, like airlines have been using this for a long time.
that's true.
These smarter parking systems just give us better opportunities to work with the real-time data and provide pricing based on occupancy and time of season, time of day. Another good use case is premium services for data-driven upselling.
Right.
Based on passenger data, the airport can recommend and sell premium services like fast track security or lounge access. And this is especially effective for travelers who may not have originally planned to use these services, but are facing, for example, longer than expected wait while at the airport. If we get back to this example of the business traveler
Okay.
and offering them lounge access or voucher for coffee, so this is an example of how this can be implemented.
Okay, so your utilizing these established touch points for the passenger as they navigate the airport and really enhancing and driving this personalized experience and personalized upselling.
And responsiveness is critical here. We have to have the data that gives us the insight. Flight is delayed, the passenger who is a business traveler. And in order to have this responsiveness, be proactive, we need the technological innovations, and we'll talk about them just a little bit later.
So getting back to the platform and getting back to unified platform, we have that data to do this, yeah.
The third use case that we wanted to highlight here is retail and food service integrations. Not so popular nowadays, but increasing. This is about creating a seamless purchasing experience, such as food pre-ordering linked to passenger boarding time, and this can increase both the volume and the size of transactions. Some smart airports have integrated their entire retail and dining offerings into a single digital platform. And passengers can browse and pre-order food or other items, duty-free items, for example, from their phone, and they can collect them at the gate or at the lounge. And all this increases convenience and revenue, ultimately increases revenue through cross-selling, upselling.
Okay, so this is where we're looking at data sharing with third parties. And again, with the goal of driving revenue opportunities for both the airport and the retailer and service provider.
Retail concessions are a big source of income. The modern airports must embrace this digital integration in order to create smart services, ultimately to enhance the customer experience and increase revenue. For the airports to really be ready to build for the future, it all relies on a solid tech foundation.
Okay.
And the key building blocks enabling this whole transformation, the things preparing airports for what comes next, are cloud platforms, robust APIs, and advanced AI.
Yeah, so we hear often these terms thrown around, but for such an airport with a huge critical infrastructure, how do these specific technologies help? Why are they such a key part of the foundation that they need to put in place to become a smart airport?
Well, let's start with the cloud platforms. They provide scale and flexibility. This is needed to handle massive amounts of data that fluctuate wildly. Think of overloads during holiday peaks. We are talking about thousands of passengers, millions of data points. Cloud can scale up and down in the way traditional data centers just can't. And this is essential for this real-time responsiveness we talked about.
Okay, so I think scalability will be understood by all, but can you go through specific benefits of scale moving to the cloud?
So integration using data coming from all these systems in order to provide single unified view of airport operation. This requires a lot more compute power, and this is or storage. And traditionally, this has been done in data centers. It had given a lot of limitations around cost, around return of investment. Cloud provides flexibility to use compute and storage on demand and just pay for what you use. And this is important. Scalability is elastic. You'll just increase the compute power processing of data whenever you need it. So all these are features that come with the cloud platforms.
Oh, okay. So the August bank holiday, a great example. Huge effort going through the airport, a huge amount of touch points and volume. And also maybe perhaps incidents driving huge amount of visits to the website. And I can see instant scaling helping there. Yeah. Okay. And the APIs, how do they fit into the foundation? Can you give examples about the APIs?
APIs or application programming interfaces. Think of them as the connectors. They're critical for allowing all these different previously siloed systems to talk to each other smoothly and to share data instantly. And you asked for an example. If we come back to this airport customer wanting to modernize their website, but actually they needed to integrate internal system, external system. So this integration is achieved by using APIs. So connecting to the airport operational database for real-time flight data, API, creating to the third-party parking management system, API, creating to other internal systems like HR or partner management systems. Again, another set of APIs.
Okay, so I see. So instant information about delays, changes, is fed straight into the operations in system, and therefore other areas have access to that data. So if there's a delay in flight, that information is going in pretty instantaneously, and others can react to other areas of the airport can react to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
connecting and integrating, yes.
Yeah. Oh, so you can see, I can see that connection, the flow of data. Okay, great. And AI, advanced AI, is that sitting on it all? How does that found into the foundation?
Well, AI fits into the intelligent layer that actually makes sense of all this connected data. It does powerful things such as predicting passenger flows, and Heathrow airports have good implementation of passenger flow use case. Dynamically adjusting parking prices based on real-time demands. Dynamic pricing we talked about earlier. In order to have this capability, you need to use AI. Personalized retail offers, again, machine learning and AI are needed in order to deliver that capability.
Okay, so you're with AI, with the availability of scaling and elasticity from the cloud platforms, means you're able to react in great times to any incidents, improve your offering, and you're learning all the time
Yeah, they
and
all come
driving data.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
In summary, we've looked at how airports can shift from being these very simple transit points into sophisticated marketplaces. And to succeed in this, airports must move beyond fragmented operations and must embrace a holistic approach to airport operations, technology, and stakeholders, or in other words, holistic approach to airport processes, systems,
Okay.
and people. And having a solid tech foundation is a big part of that shift. Building that centralized, integrated platform that handles all the process flows is critical. With that, I'll open the floor for questions.
Okay, so one of them that's actually come through has said, what are the main sources of non-aviation revenue in the airport ecosystem? I probably think I can answer that particular one. Advertising revenue is a big one, and rental from accommodation slots within the airport is another one. But by far, and as you could see from Diliana's start, is essentially the parking revenue that can be driven directly from passengers coming through. So they are pretty much the bigger ones. Actually, do you know what? Here's a tech question that's come through as well, Diliana. Why are cloud platforms, APIs, and AI considered the foundational technologies for digital transformation in airports?
Well, we've given examples of how having this holistic view of the airport operations can give you, can enable the customer experience enhancements, and this ultimately leads to increased revenue.
Yeah.
So breaking silos between the legacy on-premises systems, moving data to the cloud, moving it in real time, providing that responsive interfaces, maybe providing conversational interfaces using Gen AI, connecting with the old systems by APIs,
Yeah.
being able to scale on demand. This relates to the cloud capabilities.
Yeah.
All these are critical technological enablers. There are more recent technological trends that can be leveraged in order to, again, orchestrate better internally people, processes, and systems, orchestrate better, improve customer experience, and increase revenue.
Yeah, there's another one that's come in as well here, Diliana. I think it's touched upon some of your main core of your presentation today. Do you want to maybe just jump out of presentation mode and maybe just go back to people mode on this one, Diliana? Yeah. So there's another one's come through here, is that we have faced significant challenges when trying to become a smart airport. What's your advice? Is a question that's come through. Somebody very honest there, Diliana.
So we've talked a little bit about roadblocks and challenges, and if you are an airport experiencing those challenges, we can see how our advice can help you. We would like to hear from you what type of challenges you faced. Is it to do with this legacy mindset? Is it to do with internal politics? Is it to do because the airport is this very complex organization and people have established ways of doing things and different departments don't talk to each other? Very often we see this is the case. Is it public funded airport? Is the budget not enough? Is the internal expertise not sufficient? So yeah, you have to look at the problems and start from there. I hope our content has given you some direction.
Perfect. Perfect. There's one or two other questions. I think we do have a little bit more time. How do modern airport websites go beyond providing basic flight information?
Traditionally, using websites, we browse through the pages. We go to the page showing the flight information to see arrivals, for example. If we want to see what are the restaurants available at the terminal, we go to another page. So things are changing. Now we can have AI assistant and just ask questions in human language, and in this way we can get information about all that we need.
Yeah.
So this is one way of improving customer experience. The next level would be to react to the customer questions and maybe give them personalized offer, advise them how to move from point A to point B. At the end, gives you better makes this customer more loyal.
Yeah.
They'll return back.
Yeah, I think that there's on top of that, I think as well, Diliana, is very much integrating into third party partner platforms as well. So as you rightly pointed out, it's empowering the customer to ask questions through a chatbot, to be able to get delays and to find out about delays potentially in relation to a flight schedule. But also what we found here is that you've got airports now that are really investing in tiered services for VIP lounges. Okay, so you can actually have a certain loyalty membership group there that you can push more revenue through for the automatic booking of lounge space or slots within VIP lounges. Same and similar sort of scenario around spaces within parking. Okay, is another one. I think that you can really go beyond just providing flight information by driving revenue through, tiered charging in relation to lounges, as well as potentially tiered charges for parking. Interestingly, a crossover between our airports and our airlines business is that loyalty scenario where an airline may actually have a platinum member traveling on the airline, and all of a sudden their flight is going to be delayed. The airline wants to inform the airport specifically the parking element, to extend the airline's platinum loyalty customer their parking by another 12 hours, and the airline would pay for that extension because it is a platinum loyalty member within the airline. So there, when the customer arrives, or when the passenger arrives in, they're not getting hit with an additional charge for parking because the airline was delayed in flight, and that increases customer satisfaction and loyalty as well. So it's a nice mix once you start having a crossover between the two. I think that's I know we're just very conscious of time here. I think we're nearly up now at this stage.
So airport revenue really is a good issue to be talking about.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you very much for everything. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again quite soon. We'll probably do our next webinar after World Aviation Festival, and that will all be around the insights that we have picked up in Lisbon in October. So please come back to that one. It should be a great session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.